Hello, 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 everyone.
Hey, good evening. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
everyone.
What's going on, Eric, Marcella? How y'all doing today?
Great, doing good. What about you,
Doing
Mario?
good.
Trying to stay cool. It's like that sun, that heat out there ain't no joke.
Boy,
Yes.
he putting the whoopings. Free whoopings.
For real. You walk out, you want to, that switch gonna hit you right as soon as you walk out that door.
That's right.
Yep.
The whoopings don't stop till midnight.
Woo.
Mm-mm. But yes, today we're going to get into, and I think this is going to be an interesting conversation. Is pretty much do people who turn into adult bullies were they bullied when they were children, and what makes a bully? So that's something going to be kind of interesting because
Yeah.
not too many people. Of course, we heard things about bullying in school and bullies this, but we never really hear too much about adult bullying. So what's your thoughts? So we're gonna start with you, Marcella. What's your thoughts on bullying?
To me, bullying. First of all, I want to say that I don't like bullies. That's I hate bullies. And I feel like a bully is someone who has been bullied, and also a bully is really a weak individual because if you notice, bullies pick on those that they know that won't defend themselves against them. So it could have started from childhood. Most times it do, but I think bullies also have been bullied, and they are also weak individuals.
Okay, Eric, what's your thoughts?
Uh, it's definitely 100% learned behavior. Um, People that bullied were bullied or continue to bully. So the thing of it is, there's something lacking in them that they like to project onto other people and try to A, take advantage, or B, break them down. So the reason why I say it's a learned behavior because they know who they can and cannot bully. There's always, like for instance, when you're kids, there's always that one that person wouldn't mess with. Or they don't mess with because they know better.
Right.
And going into adulthood, it's the same thing. It just you started as a child and now you're an adult doing the same thing. It plays out, and the bottom line is you have to treat those like you want to be treated. So if you sitting here and you bullying, you need to check yourself.
Okay, Tisha, we just question. Hey, how you doing? Like to
Hey
welcome you to the show.
y'all. Sorry.
No, you're good. We were just talking about what's your thoughts on bullying?
Oh, okay. So I've been noticing a little pattern as I'm dealing with different adults. Um, I see that either the people who were bullies in high school or etc. I don't know if y'all have already covered this part.
Mm-mm.
They turn into adult bullies or remain bullies if they're not ever confronted or dealt with from that perspective. And then I noticed the people who were bullied, if you get to the root of a lot of adults that are super aggressive or nasty or mean, those were individuals that were bullied at some point in time. So it's like the bullies, they sometimes do get humble and come out of it after they become adults. It's iffy. It depends on who they marry, who's around them, who's in their circle. But I have noticed a real trend with the people who were bullied, they actually become bullies, whether it be in the job profession that they choose, um, or whether it be how they handle relationships, friendships, marriages, etc., relationships, because they made up in their mind that nobody was ever going to treat them that way again. And so they become overly aggressive and insecure in situations where people could be trying to help them. They misread the signals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of times they do the worst one because they don't realize that they become what they despise most.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep doing it. It's more turned up,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't realize it. But you need to understand that just because I don't acknowledge you, that doesn't mean that I'm afraid of you. You're just not
Right.
worth my time.
Right.
So that don't give you the reason or the fuel to keep going. that should make you take a step back. It's like, well, why I say this and he don't respond or she don't respond. That's when you take a internal self check and a self check, and you realize that you're the problem. Because
Right.
I'm not going to acknowledge everything that people say. I'm not. It's just not worth my time. Now, if you're in my circle, that's a whole different story. Okay, so what's going on, Mario? What's the problem? All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not in my circle, then you're not even a second thought. So that does not mean that you. They need to understand, and it does not mean that I'm afraid of you because I don't acknowledge you. You're just not
Mm-hmm.
worth my time.
Right.
What about you, Mario?
Well, see, me, I think of a person who's a bully. They had a lack of or too much of in their lifestyle. And when I say that,
Good
either
point.
they lacked some things growing up or they had too much of it when they were growing up. And
Good point.
that's why
Yeah.
you have like you have this you can look at a person and you can kind of tell their type of personality that they were, because you can see, like, for example, you take a police officer that is extremely aggressive was most likely bullied when they were children.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who gets a little power goes overboard with it.
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
means that, and most likely, they were probably bullied when they were coming up as children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when we see now of course now growing up, they don't have all the programs like they do now in the school systems where anti-bullying. I mean, they're really pushing it hard in schools. So back when we were coming up as kids, either you dealt with that bully or you avoid that bully.
That's
But most
right.
of the ones that got dealt with kind of grew out of it. But the
Mm-hmm.
ones that got unchecked are the worst ones in today's society.
Mm-hmm. Because they stay that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And no
Yep.
one
Mm-hmm.
put them in check. And
Nope.
majority of the time, it was because their families had wealth.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, because like most of the time, when you have wealth, you can pretty much pay for anything or buy your way out of any in situation.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yes.
never were properly corrected. They never were trained. Never got that like that. I said that moment in time where like what is it? They show the video clips now about how people overreact over crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is they're trying to gain power over those individuals, and when they can't get that power, then they go to the extreme to get attention to get that power. And
Yeah.
that's where you have
Right.
a situation where now they call them what, Karens and Kevins,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
where they get in check quick, fast, in a hurry.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And a perfect example is this movie. I think it was on Lifetime. Me and Stella watched. It was based on a true story. This girl was the ultimate bully. Why? Is what Mario alluded to. Too much of something growing up. Her mother was the principal,
Mm-hmm.
and she ran roughshod over that school. But
Mm-hmm.
see, bullying never ends well. A
Mm-hmm.
long story short, it backfired on her for covering up for so long. She ended up not only being fired from principal, they took her teacher certification, and she could never be around students again. So you're a principal, you got a minimum of a master's degree. You probably had a PhD, was in line to be superintendent. You lost all of that. You've been teaching all these years, and every time she got in trouble, every time she punched somebody, every time she called somebody a name, every time she called them a racial slur, and she knew it got to the point where it was a hostile environment because the teacher was even afraid to tell the principal because they know what's gonna happen. She's not
Right,
gonna do nothing,
right,
and it backfired on her. And see, now you got to go to another school, and you just gonna be another plain Jane. Now she's not gonna act up at this next school. Why? Because don't nobody know her.
right.
And
Well,
She'll,
then she don't have
she'll
to.
she'll have her representative for a little while. It'll come
Mhm.
out
yep,
if
it sure
she
will.
didn't get the lesson behind it. And
Mm-hmm.
and the other part too, when you talk about, I noticed that a lot of older people are bullies,
Mm-hmm.
younger people. They expect to, so we were taught in our generation that you automatically get respect because of your age. I never have agreed with that
No.
because age does not equal
Anywhere else
respect.
though.
And so, but a
Mm-mm.
lot of people have been taught that now.
Yeah,
Because,
no, respect your elders. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Mhm.
we all been
right.
taught that. Yes,
We've all been
yeah,
taught
we
that to
all been
respect
taught
your
that.
elders, right?
That is so
But
true.
the elders have to respect
Yes.
you as well.
Mhm.
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
at, almost 46 years old, I don't care who you are. I don't
No.
care how old you are. You can
Mm-mm.
be 99 or 100. You're not going to come and talk to me crazy.
No, you're
And
not.
then you're not going to. And so this younger generation, they're more aggressive about it than we were.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of fell back and was like, oh, that person's old, and make up excuses. The gloves is off with them because they like, oh no, I don't care how old you are. You're not getting ready to come at me crazy. And that's something to be said. And what I had to stop and realize too was they are bullying, because
Yes.
they're coming with this entitlement theory of I'm the elder and I can
Mm-hmm.
say and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's still a level of respect that you give to a dog. And so bullying, sometimes where I see a blurred line is, it's not a rite of passage to aggressively speak to anyone because of your age or your status,
No.
whether it be at work or whatever. And I would always, when I, have managed people, large teams, etc., I respected the fact that those were other adults.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been managed where I was managed by bullies. And they would come in, and if you said something to them, they would silently punish you, just because they felt like I was in control or I'm older, you should not, have a voice.
Now,
That's
when you
not.
say silent control, what do you mean?
So when I say silently control, I mean like you think because you spoke up at the meeting, you were asked to speak up, and then you get reprimanded or treated differently because you spoke up. So it's not always in a way that you can prove that it's because you spoke up that you're being treated differently, but because you spoke up, because prior to you speaking up, you weren't having issues.
Exactly.
And then now all of a sudden I spoke up and didn't agree with you, and I'm starting to have issues. I'm aggressive. I'm labeled as aggressive, or I'm labeled as outspoken, unnecessarily, when all I did was correct what I felt was an injustice or something that you did towards me.
Right.
Um, and so that's what I don't like about bullies too, because most of them are narcissists and they
Mm-hmm.
have narcissistical tendencies. So they never accept responsibility, and they turn it around and
Deflective
try to
behavior.
always be right. They'll make themselves the victim
Mm-hmm.
when you come out your bad and check them, and they'll try to
Mm-hmm.
make you seem like the villain while they're the victim.
That is amazing you say that
He
because
got no problem with you.
I had a bully that always felt like she could say certain things to me, and so when I confronted her and stuff like that, she went and told people that I was very argumentative. You
Mhm.
can't talk to Marcella because she argumentative, and I was like, no. I said that's not the truth. I said what it is that now she's deflecting. I said because she bullied me for so long to a point to where
Mhm.
I decided to stand up for myself and let her know that I'm not going to take that from you. So now all of a sudden now you're trying to make it seem like I'm the aggressor
Mhm.
whenever you
Mhm.
was the one that you always came at me a certain type of way. And I think
Mhm.
going back to the word we use a lot is normalizing bad behavior. It's
Mhm.
like, have y'all ever known that there's a bully? They've been a bully their whole life, and then somebody will say, "Well, that's just the way they are." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm like, no. I said, in this world, we have choices. We have choices on every part of us is because of a choice. How we treat people, how we choose to be, how we choose to be in everyday life when we wake up. It's a choice. And so you can't say that just because someone has been that way their whole life, that's just the way they are. No, I don't have to accept that. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm
Mhm.
no longer accepting that type of behavior from people. And again, you're right. I was raised the same way. You have to respect your elders. If you don't respect your elders, you're going to hell. And it's a
Mhm.
whole lot of different things. But I said, I'm grown now. So if it's
Mhm.
two grown individuals having a conversation, like you said, I don't care if you're 90. Yeah, that's what you're not going to do. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not
But
going
Mhm.
we
to
have
bully me.
but we have to understand that there's a difference between bullying and protocol. And that's one of the things when you define bullying is just having power over the situation. And
Yes.
so every place, like in the military, okay, you have to respect rank, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, there's always a way on how you deal with a situation when someone's abusing their rank. Um,
Yeah.
which and again, abuse of power is always been a Boolean process, but people don't look at it that way because of the actual platform.
Yeah.
If someone's in power, that doesn't mean they can talk to you any kind of way. That
No.
doesn't mean they can mistreat you. And that's where people have to understand, don't get position confused with being proper. There's a
Bingo.
way you handle a
There you go.
situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Letitia, what she was saying is was a perfect example of people in power abusing their position
Mm-hmm.
to get what they want or to say what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And like you
Mm-hmm.
have a situation now, like now it's even worse because like you can be working somewhere, and just because you're or let's say at McDonald's, we see it all the time at McDonald's and Waffle House. Just because you see me working doesn't mean you could talk to me any kind of way.
Exactly.
And you see
Yes.
those fights break out where they want to belittle you because of where you work at.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, that's just your job. So
That's
don't come
it.
in and think just because I'm working flipping burgers or doing that you can come in and bully and say anything you want to me. So to me,
That's not how it works.
bullying has always been abusive of power, and
Mm-hmm.
it is so many different forms of it.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like it can be as simple like now, respect. There is no respect anymore. There
No.
is no respect across the board. Respect is not. Back in the days,
Mm-mm.
we had a protocol of respect that
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
because you was a certain age or because of the certain job position that you had, you got that proper respect. Now it's a whole nother story. You got to earn that respect. So I
Yeah.
think
That
that's
is.
something that people just when you say bullying, it's a fight for power. It's like that
Yes.
person
That
wants
is
to
so
have
true.
power or authority over
Over
you.
you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know
Right,
what?
Or
over
And
you.
over a situation. It ain't, it's
Over,
not, and
right.
what I had to learn, it's not always, you may be like just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's a situation that, because a lot of times in friendships and relationships, they want to control the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when multiple friends are involved. That's where I don't like that. Yeah.
also
and
too,
that and that happens probably. That's your circle. That's a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. And like you take it like this: you take a poor person, you take a rich person. Who in most cases is going to be the bigger bully?
The
the
rich
rich
person
person.
The rich person.
Because the rich person is already used to have being in a power
having
position.
their way.
They're having
Yeah.
a way doing whatever they want. A person who's poor is in most cases is going to be
Compromise.
fighting
Mm-hmm.
to gain just a little bit of luxury or just a little bit of life to be able to enjoy themselves. So then if you've been fighting all your life, you just always going to fight regardless. If you get in a position, you're just your reactions are going to be quicker and faster because you was always fighting your life. Where somebody who's rich, they're so used to having control to where they're becoming the worst as bullies.
Yep.
And it's called a Great Depression.
And and also too, there are so many different type of bullying situations. Like, people don't believe that you can bully your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can bully your spouse. You can bully your
Yes.
kids.
Yep.
You can bully your family
Mm-hmm.
members. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna start off with the bullying
And
your
your
spouse.
friends. And your
Yeah, that's what I
Mm-hmm.
friends.
said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna start off like with bullying your spouse and how you get to that point is where whenever you are so used to being an authoritative figure to where you always have a say so or you always feel like you should have your way. And so whenever that your spouse, whether it be a male or female, when they just sit back and they feel like, okay, well, I love my husband or my wife, and I'm just gonna just give them what they want and don't argue and stuff like that. Because a lot of times too, it's like, and I'm tired of saying like happy life, happy wife. No, what about happy house, happy spouse? You know what I'm saying? Because we have to respect one another. But bullying your spouse, it comes from whenever you allow your spouse to have so much control in that relationship. And whenever they have that control in the relationship and you have no type of say so, it's like once they get to that point to where you allow that to go on for so long, Now it's going to be automatic. And so you can't be in something for 10 years and then all of a sudden decide you want to change it in the middle, because that person that always had the control and all and did all the bullying, they're not going to allow that. Now the relationship is going to start, becoming a different type of way, because now you didn't gave that person so much authority over your life to where they're not gonna want to change. They're not gonna want to change. So I think when it comes to bullying your spouse, in the beginning, whenever you get into a relationship, you both have to come in as an individual. You have to first know who you are as a person. Then you have to have your own individuality. And it has to be, like we talked about before, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It's like there has to be a balance in a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And it don't always have to be 100 and 100, because sometimes it might be where I might be a little up more on my husband, or he might be a little more on me, but we still have that balance, because that balance to me is where respect. When you have that respect in your relationship, then there's the balance. There is no bullying. There is no control. You see what I'm saying?
But not if you haven't identified, because a lot of the times when people come into a marriage like that, they've been bullied as a child.
Yes.
And they bring that mess into their adult relationships. And what happens with that situation is this is where we have to take individual responsibility for our mental health. You cannot come into a marriage and expect that person to heal you or to make you happy. That's how there becomes bullying in that marriage, because those two people are coming in. We're already coming in with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Everybody
I
has
get
that.
married tomorrow, I don't have a clean slate. I've got baggage that comes along with me, things that I've been working on and have to continue to work on because of my past, so that I don't become a bully in my marriage, right? But
Yes.
most people want to come into this fairy tale like it's going to be this perfect equation. This is not a math equation that you're going to just solve and it's the end all be all. You're going to be working on this for the rest of your life. But I see, and I'm not married, but I see in the relationships, the default part where it comes in is I'm working on myself. But if you mess around and get to a hole to a joker that ain't doing no work, and they got all this stuff that they haven't, they've been bullied in their past, they gonna come into that relationship trying to interrupt your peace over here. So not only do we have to make sure we're not bullies, we have to make sure we don't allow bullies in our life.
Right.
I mean,
That's
That's why I say that most of the time it's a self-inflicted issue. It's something
right.
that is
yes.
self-inflicted, is because okay, if you see a behavior and you just ignore it, then you get what you get. And that to me, I'll be honest, I don't feel sorry for people like that, because you gotta, if you go into a situation and if you're already broke, then first thing you need to do is get yourself fixed before you get into a relationship.
Bingo.
But if you go into a relationship and you got issues and that person got issues, and the thing is, people who are bullies are also predators. They're looking for weak
Bingo.
people. So if you present yourself and you're in a situation where you're going through some stuff and you're weak at that time, you need to stay off the market until you get yourself together. But when you decide to put yourself on the market, knowing you broken, you got issues, you get what you get. And I don't, me personally, if you're in a relationship and it's abusive, guess what? You brought it on yourself, because number one, I'm not saying you brought it on yourself as in you're the victim in a sense. I'm
Like you
bringing
gotta
there's a
stay.
moment,
Right.
huh?
You're not
There's a
saying you
moment,
brought it on yourself, you married, you stay. You saying
right?
you can't say there wasn't no signs. Look, not
Right. If you see all the signs, like if old boy or old girl is running the streets with a gun shooting up stuff, and you decide you want to marry this person, okay, then guess what? That with all that violence that person's putting out there is going to come eventually, going to come right back on them. So you
Yeah.
know what you're getting yourself into. So that's
True.
what I'm saying. It's like I don't feel. I mean, I'm be honest. I don't feel sorry for nobody that puts themselves in a situation where they know it's like they know the situation. They know. Okay, let's take the look at it. Okay, here it is. You're gonna get married to a dude that's 50 years old, still living with his mom. There ain't nothing wrong with the mom. Now I can stand there's medical issues, but ain't nothing wrong with the mom. but he's living with the mom. Now that says a lot. Now it's like when you're 20 is one thing, 30 is a different thing. 40, okay, you should by the time you turn 40 years old, you should have your own. I don't care if it's an apartment that you're renting or a house that you're buying. You should have your own by the time you turn 40. If you are living with your, and I get it, sometimes we make bad decisions, but it's like you can't marry somebody that's still living with their mom at the age of 40, 50 years old.
I'm almost, and now y'all probably gonna think I'm very far fetched right now, but I'm almost unwilling to date somebody who ain't never been to therapy. My question now for people when I date them is, how have you healed your hurts? Because I'm, like I said, almost 46 years old. Ain't no way somebody coming to me and don't have no hurts. You not coming with no
Right, right. You
clean
going through
slate.
something.
What
Right.
the world what have you been doing, to get yourself together, especially if the person been married before. I'm on the island by myself. I haven't been married. That's uncommon nowadays a lot of times. And so by the time I'm meeting people, they've been married about 2-3 times. Oh, well, now what happened to these 2-3 other
Right.
wives? And
Right.
cause see what I done learned, and Marcella tell you, I've been over here. I've been like Inspector Gadget on this relationship front. I be asking questions, right? And then I be sitting back and watching, because I done been fooled once, twice, 3 times, lady, and I'm done with it. I gotta know what's going on, right? So when somebody's always telling you these sob stories, I get to sitting
Steady
back and
problem.
looking
Mm-hmm.
because something ain't right. Cause see, I'm the
Mm-hmm.
villain in somebody's story. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that now. I
Right.
done been out here. I ain't been perfect. I done did some stuff too. So, and I'm quick to tell people, nope, no, no. I've done things too. It was a 50-50 why it didn't work out. You know. But when
Right.
you find people, man, woman, or indifferent, who, oh, woe is me, this person was using me. No, y'all was trading good for services.
Mhm.
If I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah. It's
And I mean, my thing
so.
is, look, like, what is it? What, when you go buy a car, you want the car facts? Okay, I need the
Yep.
relationship facts. I need the
okay,
details
You
yep.
know
because
what? That's a good
you
idea.
know, like, hey, look, you
Woo! You
took a
might want to
bangs on
start
this,
that.
and from '99,
We might
you
want
was
to
out there,
patent that relationship facts.
That's right.
right? There you go. You got to get it
Definitely.
because, like you said, it's like, and that's what I say. If you at one point in time, let's say you had 5 kids, and now you here it is, you're living with your mom, and you still got 5 kids to support. How you gonna take care of somebody else?
Right.
I mean,
He's in
like that's the.
between places.
But my thing is, and then but see what happens most of the time is a person will, oh well, he's working it out or she's working it
Yep.
out. I'm still gonna be there for them, and then they
Right.
get in a relationship, and then they find out the truth. Like, okay, then you
I'm
want to be
gonna
boo
be
hoo,
honest
always
with
me.
you. Unless this man making a whole lot of money, if he got 5 kids, period, you might want to be looking at that situation.
Well, see,
Because you gotta map out those finances to make sure when if and when you combine that household, what does that look like? And
right,
most people talk about these irreconcilable differences. Really, what it boiled down to was money. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going into something, friendships, any of the ships. Okay,
right,
that's what me and Marcella call them now. Any of the ships. My main goal is to protect my peace. I can get more money. I can get more thing places to go. I can't get another Tisha, and it has taken me a long time to get to this peaceful place. So when you see these people with these bully narcissistical mentalities, you got to red flag them and throw a flag on the plate immediately and decide, how am I going to handle this person? And what I'm learning is people switch up on you.
yeah,
You could
oh
be
yeah,
friends with somebody for many, many years,
Yep.
and like the wind blow, and so when you change gears, I change gears now. See, I used to try to remain solid for everybody. Not anymore. When you show me that that's what you are, you're an adult bully or narcissistical person, I'm getting out your way because I know what's going to happen there. There's no good that's going to happen there. And so what I realized was when we're dating or married, sometimes we don't hold those people to those same standards. There's good and goodbye, no matter how long you've been with somebody. you, you, you gonna have a mental breakdown. I'm there to tell you, hey, I'll support you to go get some help, but you're not gonna treat me like crap in the process of it.
There you go. There you
And
go.
I think the worst part about these situations, like say for example, relationships is one thing. To me, you have more control in relationship, but when it comes to work, it's a different
Right.
environment because
Different
now it's
environment.
about okay, I got to suck it up because I don't want to leave this job because this is a good job, but it's got this one individual that just gets on my nerves. So you have to balance the two, and you can confront that person, and that's what you see now in a work in a work environment is you got that one person that works with you or in that office that just is ignorant as hell and makes everybody else's life. The job is great, but that one person makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And see, me, I promised myself when I left the United States Army, I said I will never be put in a situation where a person has control over me the way the Army did. And so when I got out, I went to go work for the ammo point, and they were just bull. It's something about he didn't like to see successful people, and he would just prove that he had this power, this authority, and do stupid stuff
Mm.
just because. And so me, I wouldn't tolerate it. Like, well, Mr. Hardy, you're not supposed to have an iPad in the break room. I'm on break. What are you talking about?
It's a break room.
It's a break room. But then he made up these crazy policies. Like he's making up his policy. I said, okay, dude, you're not talking to someone stupid. I know what the policies are. Here are the policies right here. So he got in trouble for trying to technically bully me at the job. So
See?
then he turned around. Oh, okay, well, Mr. Hardy, you gonna go cut grass today? The hell I am. I'm not dressed to go cut grass. I'm dressed to work today. I said, no, we ain't going down this road. Now I'll cut it tomorrow. I'll come properly prepared to dress but I'm not cutting it today.
Right.
So it's like I will not allow someone to, because then now I'm in a position to where I can step up and deal with it because the money I'm making, the money is coming in, my financial status is stable. But when people know your business, and this is another thing, when people
Yep.
know your business, you become an easier target for being bullied.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So you got to be
Yes.
careful what you say, who you say, and how you talk to people.
Yeah.
Like,
That's in the ships and at work.
yeah.
Because when people strike, that's when you know you're dealing with the bully. If you share something and it makes you look vulnerable and then they strike at you, that person they got issues. They got some stuff they got going on because see, who strikes at somebody when they know they're down? Who does that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just like
This
now,
is,
like cyber, what they say about cyberbullying now is you got these situations where people will get something on you and use it against you to get you to control you and to have power over you. So you got to be careful what you do.
I tell on myself.
I tell on myself, honey.
I tell on
What
myself.
you want to know? I'll put it all the way out there, honey. I'll make a video, go live.
That's right.
Tell y'all on this podcast. I don't have no secrets.
Mm-mm.
There's no shame in none of my game, whatever it is, because see, if God knows what you gonna do with it,
right?
Yeah.
There you go.
I tell people.
And it's like this is my witness right. This is my witness right here. I love this woman to death. She'll tell you there was plenty of phone calls she got. What's wrong with him? Because she know what done happened. You done came at me the wrong way. And what I tell people is when I say cuss them out, that don't mean cuss words. No. You cuss them out with etiquette, tact, and respect. They have no other recourse but to sit there and listen while you browbeat them. And it was always people appointed over me, sitting here trying to talk down to me. Oh no, not today. You got the wrong one.
It's called using tact.
I want to see your retirement on my desk. It'll be right next to yours. Matter of fact, why am I talking to you? You're not in my chain of command. I got things to do. You being disrespectful. You started it. We can play this little playground thing all day long, but at the end of the day, I'm out. Deuces.
And that's why I used to tell people when you like in the military, it was like a policy. If you like, if a person doesn't want to, like, let's say I don't like profanity, and this one lieutenant decided, oh, he wanted to show off because he's a lieutenant. He's going to try to challenge me because I'm an E4. Well, where he went wrong at, he used a profanity to do it.
Yeah.
And as soon as he did that,
let him have it.
I let it. I went into his butt about it.
That's
Then
right.
he trying to say I was disrespectful. I didn't. My thing is, I learned is when you try to do something and you're in a public place, that's the best time to stand up for yourself, because now you're going to take that power that that person's trying to take and reverse it against them, and show them that you're not the one.
That's right. That's
So
right. That's right.
I embarrassed the hell out of him, and he never did it
Yes.
again.
I had to do it too. I'll never forget. I told son about this. I was mad. I was ready to go choke him out. He
And I think
decided.
that's something. Go ahead.
So we had a little run in. We were OCs at JRTC. He decided that he wanna be the boss when you got majors there. He just a lieutenant. And what's even worse, he was enlisted and became a lieutenant. So he decided that he gonna stand right outside the defect and make everybody under him salute him as he walk out. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. You are purposely causing confusion. And I told him that. You don't tell me what to do. Hold that thought. Walk right on up there. Told that captain, hey, what's up? I said, what's up, man? Hey, you got a problem down there. What's going on? This lieutenant said, is this Lieutenant so-and-so? I said, it sure is. Don't even worry about it. So just like he was down there doing that, embarrassing them soldiers, guess what that captain did? With me standing right there, he lit into him. You don't have to see when you raise your voice. That's what the bully likes, because you playing their game now.
Mm-hmm. It's a mental game.
No. You bring the game to you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not good. You ain't gotta cuss me. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
Another thing a bully will do too is they'll throw stuff out there in the midst of relationships or work environments to start stuff. See, now where I used to go wrong, and I'm gonna throw my hands, I would entertain it.
Yeah.
Because I was there for the whole show. Okay. So, you want to put something out? See, I'm bad in real life. I'll back it up, run you over, parallel park it, flatten your tires, scratch your car up, and everything. We could be good, but I'm gonna get this out and say what I got to say. Now the maturity, the wisdom kicks in, and you say, "No, I know what you did, and it wasn't last summer. So I'm gonna sit right on here, because guess what? You gonna need me before I need you. But here's the thing. But when you come to me, I'm gonna have all that same smoke.
That's what
I'm gonna let you know.
That's what I did
about your raggedy self. I ain't gonna cuss you out, but I'm gonna let you know how raggedy you are, and the people around you how raggedy they are, because they've allowed you to be raggedy. See, that's the other thing a bully doesn't understand. If you are around people, and anybody to me beyond 30 that's still out here bullying people, really beyond 20, you really don't have a good circle of people around you.
No.
Because you should have people around you saying, Tisha, you know what? You're bullying people. That's not nice. Do you realize how you come across? But what I realized is the bully people are normally the people who are fun to be around and show up for everything. So what ends up happening is everybody tolerates the bully because the bully's always available, right? But they really don't want to be bothered with the person. But when the person, they always makes themselves available to come around and ruin your good time. And then y'all know that the bullies always be the on time people or the early people, because they want to sit around and talk about who's late instead of enjoying the moment. I have never understood that. Why do you get somewhere early and complain about who's late? If you're there early, enjoy being there early. But you ain't got to talk about everybody who late. That you wasn't late. Like that has blown.
It's a power thing. It's like what you just gave is example of people who are control freaks that love power. And it's like they will go out of their way. In some cases, they'll even make up stuff just so they have some type of power.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, guess what?
Yes.
I saw Mickey Mouse get jumped by Kermit the Frog.
And Kermit won. You would think Mickey would win because Mickey ears bigger.
But then, I mean, that's what. But it's like they don't make up crazy stories just to have
Because
attention,
they want to
have
because they
power,
want to respond.
right?
You
And
know how
like,
you make yourself bully-proof? You
Mhm.
educate yourself. Number one, educate yourself. Learn your audience. And be quiet, but carry a big stick. So that'll lose to what Tisha did. I'm not gonna say nothing, but when you come to me, I already see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. So when you come this way, you're gonna jump right back and you're gonna regret the day that you ever seen me. I did it for 26 years.
but you know what? It's like, but in society today, and it's a big different world from when we were growing up. Society rewards bullying people.
Bad behavior, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's just like you look at, and one of the things I posted earlier this week, or I should say this weekend or last week, was it was a really good post, and it shows that back in the day when we were growing up, we had shows that talked about trying to be somebody, trying to be something.
Yes.
We had like the Different World, we had the Cosby Show, we had all these things that were always positive. Huh?
Conjunction Junction. What was the name of that?
The
Reading
Classic Roadhouse. Right.
Yeah.
We always had stuff that was positive.
Yeah.
People going to college. People doing stuff.
Now you got these shows like what's it, the Housewives of such and such, and and what you see. But better yet, the very first show that got everybody's attention on acting bad and being bullying was Jerry Springer.
Yes.
Because everybody tuned into that show like it was like the best thing since like butter bread, because all they saw was how people were getting bullied or saying this and saying that, and that type of that bad attitude promoted more bad attitude. And so now you have,
remember, ding, and they go fight. Come on,
right? I mean, so it's just like it promoted bullying, and I think that's the thing is like, yeah, we have bullying policies, but at the same time, you have bad behavior. Like God knows, look at the president we just had. You know, that once upon a time, you know, he's the biggest bully that we know, and he was the president. So it's like that bad behavior.
They think that control equals power,
right?
And that the loudest person equals authority. And that if somebody can stand up, now, okay, here's where it becomes very slated. Only if you're standing up for what they believe. Now, if you notice, like you said, Mario, you hit it on the head. The bully normally has the majority. The person who is right normally is more than likely only a handful of people, if anybody, with them.
Right.
And that's why I always follow the trail. If it's too many people involved in something, I'm automatically suspicious. Because I'm like, it's a lie somewhere. Somebody ain't telling something. Somebody ain't being real. But normally, I promise you, if you see a group of people gathered together, black, white, or indifferent, because normally people who are truth seekers and peacemakers, you don't see them in a whole lot of confusion.
No.
You don't.
No. And they get mad. The bullies get mad at that.
Because they can't control you.
I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to choose nothing.
Right.
No. And I tell my husband that all the time. I said, everybody that knows me, and y'all know me, I love people, but I also can be by myself. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times, whenever you, like I was saying, a lot of times bullies also too, they don't like the confidence in you, right? So they think that's arrogant and they think it's cocky. But my thing is this: it's like when I walk into a room, I know who I am when I walk into that room. But when you have those ones that sit back and talk, girl, you see what I'm saying? And so bullies, like you just said, bullies, what they'll do is because they mad now because of the fact that you walked in that room by yourself and you own that room and you have that confidence. And so now that little group that they got, they're gonna say and then they're gonna start, yeah, girl, you right, da 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 da. And so that's why I like me. I was telling my husband, I said, with me, it's like I don't do bullies. I don't take bullies lightly and stuff like that. And so that's why, and it's not that I got my guards up, but I know that I'm gonna protect my peace. You see
Bingo.
what I'm saying? And bullies don't like when you don't. Bullies don't like when you don't like confrontation. They like that. They don't like that. That bothers them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the kicker. The people that lean back and start talking when you walk through the room, they forget that it's Tisha's birthday party. She's supposed to come in there with their head up.
And
This is
authority
Mario,
and fun.
This is Mario's 30th working anniversary. He's supposed to come in there dancing and sliding and doing all that. Why are you sitting there yakking? That's why you ain't never had nothing. That's why you're not gonna have anything. Because the way you are. The problem with bullying is, which I say all the time, is the problem with the English language. What they do is they say bullying is a bad word. Can't use that. You gotta put it to the back. We gonna call it something else. We gonna call it a relationship. We gonna call it a work environment. We gonna call it this, and we gonna call it that. And then when you meet somebody like me who understand, I used to preach all the time. Learn, you don't have to know everything about the law. You just need to be educated about the law. You need to know something about everything. You don't need to know everything. Because see, bullies hate intellect. They hate it. Because instead of fussing with them and all this rah-rah, you sitting there, bro, why are you your veins popping in your head, you about to have a heart attack. I came over here to talk to you. Obviously, you don't want to talk, I'm out. You gotta always screen your friends. You gotta always do that. You gotta always check your circle. Now, the circle we got, we don't have to do that because these been the same people, been the same way this whole time, but you still have to do that because we've all had friends that we had to walk away from because their views aren't the same. I want motivators, not cheerleaders or hype men. I want motivators, not cheerleaders or hype men. I want Mario to tell me, well, that's about to be the dumbest decision I ever made. What's that? Let me call her. You supposed to tell me that. You supposed to tell me that. Eric, I ain't never heard no man do nothing like that. Okay, Tisha, so what you saying? You should do this. What's that? Let me call her. That's what I shouldn't be like. Well, don't tell her. Hey, Mario, don't tell her. Okay, I'm not gonna tell her. Hey, Sally, Eric told me not to tell you that he over here. So that's what you have to do.
That is so yeah.
That's what weak-minded people do.
Exactly.
They support bullies. If you want someone to go along with it, you like what you do. The thing is, what you do is you give them, and what bullies do is they give them a little piece of power, or they give them a little bit of money.
Yep.
They give them something to where they're weak-minded enough to follow them.
Or attention.
Or just like attention. So you look at kind of like look at again the last president we had. I mean, you look at what he did, right? Everyone knew he was a bully. Okay, because he had money, he wouldn't pay people. He wouldn't do stuff. He would just do whatever he did to make himself stay on top. So when he became the president, same thing applied. He gave certain people certain much power. Like okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of power. I'm gonna put you in this position. And guess what? They went along with it because they were getting that money, that power, that authority. And so as soon as that person because all these same people, think about it, all these people talk bad about him when they were running to become the president. And then when he became the president, then he's the best thing since sliced bread. Those are weak-minded individuals. Those are people that are just greedy for power. And that's what most bullies do, is they want people that are wanting the same thing that they want, willing to do anything to get it.
Yes, man.
Yeah, submissive. And it gets bigger than that because when you start looking at it on a grander scale, if you're not careful, it's easy to, especially if you're in relationships with people, it's easy for you to be defending the bully just because bullies have a way of having representatives. So they show this person. If you notice with bully people, they never like for everybody they know to be in the same room. because the issue is you get different versions of that person. And so they don't like for people to get together and talk. And that's when it gets real ugly with them, where they'll start trying to pin people against each other. Because with a bully, like I said, there's never always the truth.
Right.
Because they can't tell you something that they don't know themselves.
Right.
They're whoever they need to be in the given situation, right? And so you'll hear bullies always say, but I always get my way. And life always goes the way I want it to, because a part of being a bully is being manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. Woo, Jesus.
So
You even manipulate yourself.
Yeah, very
yeah,
much so.
you even you even got your own self, tricked into believing that you're this person that you're not. And the one thing that I realize and I'm learning as an adult, when you're dealing with a bully, it goes back to something Eric says. When you speak with them calmly and you don't go raging like they do, they always act like they don't understand you.
Yep, they fold. They fold
sure
under
do.
pressure like it ain't nothing.
Mhm.
Or they try to add gasoline to a fire that doesn't exist.
They try to throw up
They
something.
try to
like
throw it
you
up.
said,
They're trying to
but
spark
see,
it off or something.
Yeah, that's why you don't divulge everything to everybody.
Mm-mm.
Only those few people, and you gonna know the ones that you can divulge and tell anything to. You don't, because they will try to use it to try to get you to do it. No, because see, and just like I said, to be to fight against bullying, the most important thing over all that, 2 words. Thank you. You think you better than everybody. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You think
That's
you
what
better than everybody. Thank
Tisha's
you.
saying. They want to pull you into their mess. Yep, that's
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Just say thank you. It will make their head will just go. I just can't. Okay.
You know what's about bullies too, real quick, is they really feel like because they have control over certain situations, they can have that control over everyone. And once you show them that you can't do that to me, now again you become that problem. Because I had someone do that to me. It's like when I gave them a piece of my mind, but I didn't cuss. I talked intelligently. Now all of a sudden, oh, she the problem. Oh, I can't date her. Oh, I can't be her friend. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Because one thing about, like I said, all my life, I bullied. I can't deal with bullying. I was bullied for 3 years, and I'm telling you, it didn't end well. I sent her to the hospital. I had to go to court because I almost bust her whole head open. You know what I'm saying? Because it was that built up frustration. But it's funny now, we're friends now. We went to school together, but I'm like, you were so used to bullying everybody, and for 3 years I just allowed her to think that she had that control over me, right? I wouldn't say nothing, but I got tired one day. And so now she already know what it is. I'm just joking, but yeah.
But but I'm gonna say this. Because there's another situation that's getting worse. Is just because you have a couple of dollars, doesn't mean you go own the place that you're paying something at. I have a major problem with, and I've seen it happen so many times. Just because you're paying for my services doesn't mean I'm gonna do everything like you just bought a slave. It doesn't work.
Like you would think.
That's what's going on. If society has changed to where if they're paying for something, you owe them the world. If you go into McDonald's, you need to give me all your attention. It's like you have to. I get customer service, but it gets a point now. It becomes ridiculous. How people are acting. Just because you got $20 doesn't mean you own somebody.
No.
Just because you're paying $100 for a service doesn't mean that they have to do everything that you want to do. What is something about having money. A lot of people think they have power over you. And
it's like how we put so much emphasis on all these celebrities. And it was going kind of back to our topic last week when we talked about too with bullies' personality and character. Bullies fall in a lot of the personality part, but they don't have good character. Yeah. And so a lot of times we're giving these celebrities all this notoriety. We don't know who they are. We don't know if they bullies today. Like you'll read these stories, they throwing phones at their assistants. Or if you catch a whiff of one of these shows, how ugly and nasty they are to the
Mhm.
people they feel that are beneath them. But yet you still give these people positive affirmation and reinforcement because of what? Because they can sing good. Oh, they can play the piano good. Oh, they dress nice. Wait a minute, that's still like, that's what I'm saying. We've got to understand that there has to be a degree of separation,
Mm-hmm.
period. Like you can't say it's a celebrity, they're untouchable because they're rich, I'll never really get to know them, but you idolize them over Mario, Eric, or Marcella, who you have a true relationship with, but you'll idolize and spend more money on this celebrity that you will never get to know than
Mm-hmm.
you do Mario, Eric, or Marcella. You
No
don't
comment.
value those relationships, but you value, like Mario said, the people who you think have money, who you think can do something for you. That's
Yeah.
that's that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just
They
like
call them.
and just to throw, just to add to that, you take a person right now that's going out here doing bad things, and this is the thing that's sad. If you're out here doing bad things in the world, you're making millions and millions of dollars, and you're out here going out here doing bad and stupid things in this world. Like, and like, why would you have to do bad things?
Thank
Right.
you.
Why would you have to? You're in a position to where you're already winning.
Because
Yeah.
Why
they
do you
think
have
they're
to be?
untouchable.
Why do
Lack
you have
of
to keep people
character.
right?
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
Lack of
bullies
character,
thrive off of personality.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have no character
Because I know
because
it.
there hasn't been any accountability. In order to forge character, you have to have accountability, whether it's from yourself to other people or other people to you. But most bullies are in a circle of people where nobody really knows who that person is, and
Mm-mm.
they don't really care
Mm-mm.
because that person shows up, they already know they don't really like that person and they're tolerating them. And guess what? I don't have to deal with that person unless I want to.
Yeah.
But you know who the bully would turn on, and we keep saying that it's the person who would be trying to say, you're a bully. Why are you doing this? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that. We're adults. But you would become the villain.
Yeah.
Yep. And that'll be fine with me.
And that's fine with me. As long as I
Mm-hmm.
walk in my truth and set you
That's
straight
it.
and push you back off of me, I can't account for what you do with other people anymore. Totally up to you.
That's
And like
it.
you said, the bullies hate the truth.
Mhm.
Yes, they do. They
Bullies
they
always hate
hate
the
it with a
truth.
passion. And
We need
and
to make that a post. Bullies hate the truth.
and
Yeah.
if they got a problem with it, they're the problem. Because see, the reason why they don't know they're the problem is because they have redefined the bad word. They have
They don't see
redefined
themselves as
bullying.
bullies. They
Yep,
see
you know.
themselves as strong, in
Yes.
strong
Yes.
people.
Yes.
You'll hear them say that a lot. No, I'm a strong
Yes.
person. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
independent thinker. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
So I have a question for everybody because I know that Mario has another show. I got to run. So give me either a word or a few words on what makes a bully. What is something that makes a bully? Mine is, I think, to me, what makes a bully is they feel like entitlement. To me, a bully feels like they have entitlement. That's what makes a bully. A bully, entitlement. There.
Uh, I would say trauma,
Yep.
both past, current, and future. Trauma.
Tish.
Narcissist.
Yep.
Mario.
For power,
Yep.
it's all
Yeah.
about power.
Yeah.
They use it
Yeah.
just to gain power over someone.
Yeah.
They want slaves. They want followers. They don't want people that are equal to them.
Mhm.
Yep. And the biggest thing to know if you're a bully or not, if you call yourself the king or queen of the group that you hang around with, you are a bully, my friend.
And not only that, bullying. When you find a bully that has a large group, after a while, watch
It
that circle is
disperses.
going to disperse.
Mhm.
I done seen that. I done seen that a while where I hang out and stuff, certain things, I done seen them, they disperse. You see what I'm saying? Because now those people that have dispersed, now they actually see the bully for who they really are and be like, you know what? Nah, I'm good on. I feel like they had growth and now they have wisdom because really a lot of circles and the circle is bad and it has a lot of bullying in it, they're gonna soon disperse. I didn't see
or they stay together over and they value the time or length of time that they've known each other. And like again, like I said, they've learned to tolerate each other. So, but when you see those groups that stay together like that, it's normally a common denominator, whether it's their drinkers, marijuana smokers,
their beliefs.
users, it's something that connects them, partiers.
Yeah,
it's something that connects that group that's not tangible or real.
Right. It's their agenda. They have the same agenda. And like I said, and we all say this, truth will set you free. So once you break away from a group like that, you finally found or you realize what the truth was from the beginning. Right. And I think that's the problem with bullies is that, like I said, anti-bullying is the truth.
Yep. Thank you, Mario. The anti-bullying. If we want anti-bullying, we got to be willing to face the truth.
Yep.
All right. Well, good.
This was a good one.
Is another good
This was a real good one. Yes, indeed. Yes. I'm gonna go look. Let me go beat up some bullies.
They used to have a show called Bully Beatdown.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know why the reason why they stopped it. Because bullies.
Well, I think now, but see, you know what? But now the show is like, what is it? They talk about Karens and anti-Karens and Kevins and anti-Kevins. I mean that. A lot of those video clips now are getting more attention than ever, where people getting caught being bullies and then they get put in their place.
Exactly. That's what goes back to saying everybody that you used to bully, you're gonna meet that one that's not gonna allow you to do that to them.
Yep.
And I'm always the one.
That's right.
If you wanna not be a bully, call me. I'll help you with that real quick.
Look,
I'm not
I'll get you. Look, we get that. Look, the Ghostbusters, Bully Busters, right?
Yeah, Bully Busters. I get you all the way together.
The BB Squad.
The BB Squad. All right, guys.
All
right. Well, look, we'll see y'all next week. I know we'll have to talk offline about the next topic, real but quick, this one was extremely good, like always.
I love this one. This was a good one.
Look, I'm gonna make sure I do it right this time. Last show we didn't do this, or was it? Yeah, no, it wasn't this show. It was another show. I didn't do the closeout, the theme music going out. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see y'all next time.
Okay.
Have a good evening.